Yo, what's going on, everybody? So there's a few strategies for trading, and I wanted to go over one strategy that is swing trading. This is my favorite strategy because you can just kind of pick a bottom, buy it, and then wait. And in the NFT market, it's a little different than stocks and crypto, but in stocks and crypto, it's exactly what I just talked about. You kind of look at a resistance level, you buy at the bottom, and then you just wait for it to go back up. So I'm not going to be trading crypto here, but I did want to go over what I mean by finding a bottom. So I know it's easy for me to say, oh, you just buy at the bottom and wait for it to go up. But you're like, yeah, Nick, duh, but what the hell is the bottom? How do we know? Well, you're never going to know for sure. But we can see this resistance line right here. And you can see that it touches all the way back. Let me get this out of the way. All the way back in November and December of 2021. And it also touches again a few times in May. And then we see it in June. And then July of 2021, and now we're over here and we're hitting it again. So this is the resistance level. Now, if it breaks, it breaks. We lose, and that's a bad trade. But you can look at history, and this is when it bounces. So we will likely see a bounce. It could go lower, but this is a low. So I know I just talked about charts and how you find a bottom. Well, that really doesn't work for NFTs, not in my opinion. What I'm more looking for in NFTs are projects that have been developing for a long time, but their floor has continued to go lower. Kind of like how Cardano has been developing, yet the price keeps going lower. That's kind of what I'm looking for. So one of the projects that I'm looking at is Tiger Society Tigers. Now, maybe they're cubs, maybe they're, mutated tigers as well, but just the project in general is what I'm looking at. So if we go over to their Discord, we can see that they've been posting these sneak peeks. And I really do like a project that's continuing to develop despite the project's floor going lower and lower. So these are unrendered pictures, and they even talk about that. So they say keep in mind it's not rendered. So you can see though, there's the bowling alley, casino, a bunch of things that they got building, all right? And they're an OG project. They've been around for almost a year at this point. And they continue to have more and more developments. They continue to post in their announcements, so you can see that they're continuing to work. And just yesterday, they posted an announcement showing all of these pictures updated with some lighting. And I really do like it. I think it's really well done. So I just want to remind everybody, this is not financial advice. These are just strategies. Swing trading has been around forever. And this is my idea of what swing trading would look like and how to pick some projects inside of the NFT market. Another thing to note is that if you want to convert your tiger to a 3D tiger, you can send in this amount of ADA to this address, but don't take the video's word for it. Go to this Discord, check it out for yourself. But if you go over to JPEG Store, you can see that these are 17 ADA. And then if you go over to Tiger Society 3Ds, you can see that it's another 8 ADA on top of that because you have to send 8 ADA to convert your tiger to one of these 3D models. And you can tell right away, these 3D models look way, way better than the original models. So another project that I'm looking at is Planet Pals. Now, I wouldn't be buying Planet Pals at this price. However, I could see an argument for this price being fair. I was using this strategy 4 to 5 months ago, and I was buying Planet Pals around 12 to 30 ADA. I stopped buying when they were 30. I only got about 10. I'm not wealthy, so I couldn't afford a whole bunch, but I grabbed 10 of them and I gave away one of them. So now I'm holding 9. And the reason why was because I was seeing that they were continuing to develop, and they just hired new artists at the time. They were hiring developers. So it's like you wouldn't be putting your money into things that you were planning on ditching. Now, we did see a pump in this project up to about 100 ADA not too long ago, and that was sheerly because there was only about 144 to 190, I think in that range, of their total assets out of a 12K collection being listed. At the moment, we can check on CNFT.tools, and then we can go check out Planet Pals. If you sort by price, then you can see the total listings right here. So it did go up a bit, about 20 to 40 extra people started listing, but still, that's not very many. So Planet Pals will be a play to earn game that's coming out sometime in the future. We don't know exactly when. They do have a light paper if you'd like to go check out all the mechanics and specifics of this project, and I'll link that in the description below. So the next project I'm looking at is Retroheads, and this is because they just hired a team of 4 to 5 developers that will be developing their analytics tool. Now, the floor price as well is half off of their mint price. So I just went on to CNFT.tools, and I actually just bought this one because I thought it was super rare, and I was wrong, but it's all good. It's still basically floor price, and I'm cool with having 11 instead of 10. So I'm over here, and I just wanted to be on CNFT.tools so I could see how many were listed to get a rough idea of like how much volume needs to go into this. How many people need to buy these to actually get the floor to rise. and there's 1,179 listed, meaning 11.8% roughly is listed. Something else that you can do is you can have a price target in mind, and CNFT.tools will kind of help with that. So we can see that the floor price is 25. So we can put in 25, and then let's say we want to sell it for 50, which would be a 2x. So we'll type in 49, and we'll see how many assets are listed between 25 and 49. And we get 207 listings, meaning that we need to sell about 207 of these assets before we get to our target. Something else that I like to do is I like to go to the activity inside a JPEG store, and I like to see how many have sold within a certain time frame. So it's been like, only one sold within this hour, one sold within this hour, two within this hour, none for the last 14 hours. So stuff like that you like to look at because it shows that the project isn't being highly bought. So with this information, we can see that not a whole lot of people are buying this NFT at the moment, which does mean that it's going to likely be on sale. Now, when this volume comes back in, we don't know that, but you need to base it off of announcements and anticipation. So when they say things such as, we just hired a dev team and they are going to come on, introduce themselves, and then they are going to produce part of their tool within a month, which is what the announcement has said, then that's a lot of speculation. Not to mention, I've already looked into this project a bit more, and I know that they're going to have another part of their drop, which is going to be the capsules. And the capsules will either put your retro head back in time or send them to the future, and it will change their appearance. Also, if you didn't know, this retro head will be your key to their tool. So if you'd like to use their analytics tool, you must own a retro head. The next project is OG Bears, and yes, I am the community manager, so I am going to be maybe a little biased, but I was buying this project even before I became the community manager. So the OG Bears have split up their workload into months, and the month of May was their collaborations month. Well, the month of June is going to be the release of their game. So we had an announcement roughly a week ago from Baba saying the updated plan of action / roadmap that we're working on is as follows and in this order. So the tokenomics of their salmon token, the homes for the bears, collaborations and collab-based mini games, which we spoke about in the Pluto Alliance Twitter space today. So if you want to see that, go into announcements, and it's right down here in the OG Bears announcements. But next up we have road structures and complete world design, metaverse demo, salmon token launch, land and business sale, royalties, distribution, and more play-to-earn mini games. Now, this one is going to be hard to track as well because I did try to go to all time and look at what the minimum floor price would be, but we can see that it's 8 ADA, and that's not really fair considering that the floor price right now is 60. So I've been watching this project, and for me, a fair floor price is around 50 to 60 ADA, in that range. But that's only because I've been watching it that I have that belief. If you haven't been watching it, then you may think like, oh, well, the minimum floor is 8, it's way above that, so I don't want to buy it. But, I've seen these fluctuate between 120, I believe, roughly as the floor price, all the way to about 40 to 50. And I really think, in my opinion, that 50 to 60 is the new floor. So I do think that they're at their low. So at the moment, there's 703 bears listed out of their 8K collection. So it's roughly 9% listed. So once again, I want to see how many bears have to sell before I get to roughly a 120 ADA floor. So I'm going to type in 60 as the floor, and then I'm going to do 119, and there's about 195 listings. Something else that I didn't really mention is when the floor price starts to skyrocket up, a lot of people do see this and they delist or list for higher. So not necessarily will all of these assets have to be sold before I hit my price target. So anyways, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this video. There's definitely other projects that fit the criteria, but we're all limited to a certain amount of money, so you can only really pick a few to play with. And I also tried to pick a few that were very cheap, because a lot of people are coming into this space that are kind of new. And I think, in my personal opinion, not financial advice, if I was starting off, I would be more comfortable putting 120 ADA into 6 or 5 assets, such as like retro heads or something like Tiger Society, as opposed to buying one of a brand new project and trying to flip it. The other benefit to this strategy is you'll have 5 to 4 assets or 6 assets, whatever it is, to slowly get out of the project. Let's say the project starts to go up and you're like, oh, I'm up like 50% now. Do I sell? Well, you can sell 1, you can sell 2, you can sell 3, you can sell 5 and keep 1. You have options. If you only have 1, you're either in or you're out. So the last part of the strategy is going to be selling. Now, I found some good targets that I think are good entries. Now, when do you sell? That's completely up to you. Now, in my examples, what I personally like to do most of the time is if I bought 6 and then I doubled, I would sell 3 at the minimum just to get most of my money back. That's just what I like to do. You have to keep in mind royalties will also play in a factor. So if you do sell for exactly 120 and you bought an OG bear at 60, you're not exactly getting a double, but it's not much off. But anyways, guys, those are my picks. And if any of this content helped you, please give me a like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Remember to get outside, see your family, see your friends. We're here to make more money so we can spend more time with them. Till next time, guys. Peace.
I get it like a G, but it never came easy. You got me coughing up a lung, I wish I rap like Wheezy. I keep my pace, so I'm sorry that I'm breezy. Keep my sneaks laced, cause I can't afford Yeezys. I don't want the gold, give me BTC. Y'all be acting crazy, I like